Dingman, yeah, Ranger Dingman. So yeah, we're gonna be cranking her up here. He's gonna start the because we do a video broadcast too on social media stuff. So he's firing that stuff up right now, and we'll be starting in about 2 or 3 minutes with the regular broadcast. And it's just like we said, we'll just I'll kind of intro you in Lake Paris boat show, da 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 da, boom boom boom, and then we'll get ready to rock and roll for about 10 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. Were you going to be like asking questions or anything about it?
Yeah,
Like,
well, yeah. I mean, we.
prepared, but I don't know that it's 10 minutes worth.
Yeah, well, if it isn't, we'll end early. But you'd be surprised how fast 10 minutes go. You're also on. You're also on with Stephanie, my co-host.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hello, good. How's it going?
So if
I'm
you,
great.
yes, if you hear that second voice coming in, you won't be thinking, "What the heck's going on?"
Fair enough. All right.
Are we on? We're on YouTube. Okay, we're getting ready to intro it in. Getting ready to rock and roll here pretty soon.
All right.
The Toyota San Bernardino Recording Studio presents IE Newswire Daily with Roy Bleckert and Stephanie Meyer. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Yes, it is. We're coming to you on a Freaky Friday the 13th.
I forgot what we decided to go with.
Yes, that. Are you freaked out about, or are you superstitious?
I am.
You do?
Yeah, I would not be going on any roller coasters tonight.
Oh man, I love Friday the. I mean, I'm the anti-superstitious. I love Friday the 13th.
I think you're just crazy.
Well, that goes without saying on the whole enchilada and their most people.
You always after the show, I'm always craving enchiladas.
Well,
it drives me insane.
That's an old expression.
I know. But now I want enchiladas.
We had a lot of news coming up in views and even some surprise special guests coming in. Doing that on that. Somebody's going to have a very special birthday coming up here.
Coming up?
Someone's birthday's coming up here pretty quick for that. And but first, we're going to preview a very special event that's coming out here, right here in the Inland Empire, Moreno Valley, Paris area in particular, at the Lake Paris. They have this every year, and it's an absolutely fantastic show, and I hope you got the pictures lined up so those listening on the deal, it's on the IEN Facebook message deal. The Lake Paris Boat Parade comes on every year, and it's an absolutely fantastic show. I mean, the boats are all lit up going across. It's the one you're seeing some of the pictures from last year with a boat with the snowman on it and stuff. But to tell us all about it, give us the clue-ins on that, how it's a great, exciting event you might want to attend tomorrow Saturday. Ranger Dingman, welcome to the show with Stephanie and Roy.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here and doing this with you guys.
Yeah, we're rolling some of the pictures that we found
from last year.
Yeah, that Stephanie found from last year on that to see all the greatly decorated boats on that. Do you know how long do you know about how long that you Lake Paris has been doing the boat parade on during the holiday season?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm bad at math, so off the top of my head, I couldn't say it. But I know this is our 21st annual Lights on the Lake parade. So at the very least, we've been doing this for 21 years. So I guess that's what, 1990?
I'd say 99 is probably a good guess.
Yeah, right about there. So we've been doing it for quite a bit, and, it's evolved over time to include new things here and there. But, yeah, we're looking forward to it. It should be a good event again this year.
So are these just mainly the people that maybe have boats out on the lake or frequent the lake? Are they just like private boat owners that decorate these boats up? Or how does this thing all get put together?
Oh, absolutely. It's private boat owners. So we basically have kind of sent out advertisements, and we have a list that we email out to our regulars who normally come up for this thing. But it's basically you register your boat for the parade, you decorate it however you want, and then on the day of the event, they get there a bit early. We get them on the water. They get stationed off to the side a bit. So that way when the event starts, everybody's lined up on the shore. They all come down, and that's when you see all the lights on the water with the boats. So it's definitely all private vessels. We don't have any that I know of commercial ones that come out. So far we only have 10 pre-registered, but I'm hoping for a bit more that are going to show up the day of and get out on the water.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, if somebody wanted to bring their boat out and decorate it tomorrow, can they just like show up and you guys will give them a slot in there and let them show their works on the lake tomorrow night?
Absolutely, yeah. I would actually even encourage that because, I mean, the more boats we have, the greater the event it's going to be. And so pre-registering is a bit helpful for us to just kind of plan, but they're more than welcome to show up on the day of the event. The parade starts at 5, so if they get there about like 4 o'clock, maybe 4:30 at the latest, we can get them signed in, get their boats out on the water, and they'll be all good to go. It's good for them too, because we try to give some incentive for it as well. So we have our 5 categories that our boats go in. There's a powercraft over 20 feet, powercraft under 20 feet, personal watercraft, kayak and canoe, and one more that's escaping outside. But whoever wins in each one, they get a little trophy, and we got some $25 gift cards lined up for them as well, just as a thank you for taking the time to decorate and come celebrate this event with us.
Well, that's even great that you can do that. We're talking with Ranger Dingman. He's one of the main guy, I think, that's putting this all together. The Lake Paris Boat Parade that happens every year, happened last 21 years again on that. It's absolutely fabulous show of that, and that's what's great about these are the kind of events I love because, like you said, it's not commercial. It's just boat owners, and some of the decorations, like we were showing the boats from last year, were absolutely incredible. The amount of time and effort these guys and
Yeah.
gals put into it has got to be yeah.
How
Yeah,
awesome.
they go out all out sometimes. We've seen ones with the Santa sled on there with reindeer and just the amount of lights themselves that they're able to get on these vessels sometimes is truly impressive.
Yeah, it's
So,
it is, and it's a heck of a show.
Now, wait.
Go ahead.
I have a question really quick. So, tomorrow's my mother's birthday, and she wants to attend this event. She's never been. Neither have I, so we were really looking forward to it. Can we bring, like, a barbecue, come down a couple hours early, maybe do, like, a picnic, and to, like,
of course,
make it
yeah.
a whole day thing?
Lake Paris is just generally a recreation center. So we have, barbecues and we have picnic tables and shade ramadas, nice grassy areas. So I would definitely encourage if people want to come out early, set up their grill, kind of enjoy the scenery of being outside before the event happens. That's definitely encouraged,
Yay.
especially lately. With the fall season, we have some of the foliage that's really starting to change.
Yeah.
The weather's just perfect for it. It's going to be a little bit cloudy, but mostly sunny and warm. So definitely, if you want to come out early, it's $10 per vehicle for the day. And so if you want to come at 6 o'clock when we open, pay the $10 per vehicle, you can stay all the way until the event, and that covers the day and the event as well.
Oh, how cool.
So Stephanie brings up a good point, and there's been a lot of recent reconstruction at Lake Paris. They've rebuilt the dam and brought it up to standards. They're filling the lake back up. So yeah, it is. Lake Paris is back on. I would say back in the groove, back in the move, coming up. So yeah, like that. It has been, and will probably continue to be a great recreational area out here. For all sorts of things. I mean, like you say, go out and have a picnic.
Yeah.
Maybe even go out there, rent a jet ski. I don't know if you still have that out there. Have a great time on the lake. There's a lot of activities that you not only on tomorrow Saturday if you come out, but pretty much every day happening out at Lake Paris.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's really nice, too, because it's centrally located, like you were saying earlier, between, Paris and Riverside's not that far, and Moreno Valley's really close. And so it's really easily accessed, but the way the dam is built and the way the mountains are around it, it's kind of your own little oasis paradise over there where you go up and you're in the recreation area where the dam is, and you kind of forget that the city's around you even. All you see is lake and mountains and kind of a drop-off horizon over the dam.
Yeah, it's really a gem sitting in here in the Inland Empire. That very scenic, and picturesque terrain, and there's lots of places. I know you have you have guided hikes up there all the time, and some of the views up on top of the mountains from up there are absolutely spectacular. From that area.
Yeah, I was up on Terry Peak. That's one of our peaks up there, and you get up there and you just get a 360-degree view of Paris and Moreno Valley. You can see Riverside off in the distance, little hints of Beaumont as well. So definitely some great hiking potential over there as well.
Wow. My mom wrote in and wanted to thank you for doing this for her birthday because she feels like that's why you're doing the boat parade is for her birthday.
Well, she's welcome, and you can tell her happy birthday on my behalf if she's not listening. But
Well, she better be
yeah,
listening.
no, I mean that's why we do it. We do these events, and we have the park there for the public to enjoy. And really, kind of getting back to the event, that's what it's about: is the people coming with their private vessels that they've decorated, and having this opportunity for the communities around here to come and have just a festive event that they can do and enjoy in the state park.
Yeah, it is. So everybody come on out. You can spend the whole day out there. I think the boat parade starts around 5 or so o'clock. Probably goes on a couple hours or so on that. Great time you'll have out there doing that. And again, it's great to make it, if you can, make it like a whole day experience out there at the lake and take in a lot of the other stuff and activities you can do out
There's
at
a
Lake
really
Paris.
amazing museum there too. I don't know if you've ever been there,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
for
My
sure.
kids love it every time we go.
Yeah, it's a great place.
Yeah.
So, like I said, yeah, come on out tomorrow and enjoy the park and enjoy the boat parade while you're there for the day.
You got it. Thanks a lot, Ranger
Thank
Dingman,
you.
for being on and giving us this little preview, especially in holding this event, especially for
My mom's birthday.
For her mom's
I really
birthday on
appreciate
that.
it.
Yes,
Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity.
you got it. Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
All right, see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah. See, Mom, I got you a boat parade for your birthday. I am like the favorite child. I mean, who can beat
Yeah,
that? Bring it on.
How can you top that? You get a boat parade for your birthday on the whole enchilada out there on that. That's pretty fantastic. It is a pretty good event. And again, like I said, that's what I really like about things like that is they're it's not a commercial deal. It's all volunteers, private boat owners. It's been, it takes a lot of countless hours to do that. As Jesse was showing our the pictures of some of the boats that were there last year out on the lake. Man, those guys just guys and gals spend a lot of time and effort decorating their boats up for the parade. So show them some love out there, have some fun, and go out there and check them all out on the whole enchilada on that.
Susan from Harupa Valley wrote in and said, I get an extra Christmas present. That, brothers and sisters. Anyways. And we're going to have a guest on Monday who's going to promote a special deal that he has out in Redlands. He opened a new store a couple weeks ago, Mountain Mike's, which we always kind of talk about here on our show. So if you go out there on Monday and mention IE Newswire, he'll give you 20% off your order. So we're going to have him on Monday, so
Cool.
you got to stay tuned.
Yes.
I don't know if I told you about that, but Monday Night Football is going to be out in Redlands.
Redlands. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
We can make the arrangements for doing that. Yeah, Redlands is a great town. We love Redlands. That's the Orange City. The town that was built out. Redlands has a very big impact. Do you know what the big impact Redlands had on Moreno Valley?
What?
Back in the late 1800s, that's where they piped the water in from Redlands to Moreno Valley.
I knew that. You told me when we were driving out there.
Yeah,
I obviously was not listening.
Well, no, you did, because it did ding, ding, ding when you did remember that I did tell you about it.
We need to investigate that tunnel.
Yes.
I do want to go
Oh,
and walk
yes.
through that tunnel. Can we do that one day?
Yes. Let's do it tomorrow.
I'm working tomorrow.
Oh, never
I know.
mind. Next week.
Yes.
Check out the end part of it is still on this end, and when you go through Redlands Boulevard on there, you can still see the remnants of the old tunnel that went through there that brought the water from Redlands all the way to Moreno Valley back in there, and that's when we really start. That was really the birth of Moreno Valley when they finally brought water in and. Big activity was going on.
Just kidding.
You know you were not.
I know.
You could really care less about the history of Moreno Valley.
What were you saying?
It's all fun.
No, I love the history of Moreno Valley.
No, it is. That's
I find it very fascinating, like the historical committee. Am I saying that right?
the
Society.
Moreno Valley history. Yeah, the Moreno Valley Historical Society.
I think that's a great. We should join that.
Don't
Don't they have stuff coming up? They used to be I feel like they used to be more active than what they are this year.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
kinda bummed out
and it is a good thing
because
you
I
brought
found
that.
it really fascinating.
Yeah, it is kind of sad because like you say, each and every year you see less and less and less people. It seems like the people that have moved here recently or stuff just like kind of bypass this. I mean, and they're not really into, let's say, the history or how this became a city and all that stuff. So that is, and I would encourage people to to get more involved in that and attend some of the events. Like they have every month or two they have a potluck dinner down at the Edgemont Women's Club on that, and they usually have a presentation. That's where I met Ranger Perez down there. He gave a talk about how the what's his name, Batista de Anza, when he came up from the Mexico to do the missions and stuff, and how it was basically the Russians were coming over like in 1850 from Alaska down through the border through California, and that's where they were clashing. The Mexicans were actually from that time trying to defend this area from attack of Russia on that. But he made a pretty cool presentation on that. And that's how
a lot better than what you're
That's
doing
how I
right
made the
now.
contact here to get Officer Dingman on so we could have a preview. So
Wow.
it's a
Thank goodness for that.
yes.
Who'd you have on?
Who did I have on?
What are you talking about?
I have no idea.
I don't either. I'm trying to follow along, but it's not.
So I think we have the birthday girl coming up tomorrow. How do you like your boat parade for a birthday present?
I thought that was very nice
Okay.
of them.
So
Very nice of them.
But since I put it on, do I win favorite child?
Yeah, like I'm going to say that on the radio with
Why?
everybody
Your
listening.
your other kids did not get you a boat parade, Mother.
No, they didn't. No, yeah, you are.
Yes!
You moved up.
You're
Uh-huh,
not even
uh-huh.
related to me, so it doesn't matter. Anyways, happy birthday, Mom.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
Thank
I'm
you very
excited.
much.
She's
I
gonna go get
appreciate
a
your phone
tattoo
call.
tonight
Yes, that's the big thing of that. I found
on
this.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, on Friday the 13th.
It's a great idea. I'm just kidding. Don't
Yeah,
listen to me.
I didn't realize I was booking it on the 13th, but, I think I'll be okay. I don't think I'll pass out. I told one of the kids' young friends that I was just going to kind of whimper and not do the blowout crying thing, So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to stick with that. I'm hoping. I'll take a few Xanax. And I'll
Well, I'm
pass
gonna be-
out.
No,
There
you're
we
not,
go.
You're not allowed to before you get a tattoo, but I'm going to be filming probably most of the time.
Oh, great.
So are you superstitious? Are you freaked out about things like Friday the 13th?
No, I'm
Good.
not. No. In fact, I had a thing that said why, Friday the 13th became to be, but I didn't get around to reading it because I am kind of curious where that came from. I have no clue,
Probably some old wives' tale.
Yeah, something stupid back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, it doesn't bother me. No. And then I was going to take the girls out for snacks and then maybe a beer, so that might play into the Friday 13th, make sure that we only have one drink and lots of food.
Well, yes, that's
Yeah.
especially if you're driving.
Yes, exactly. Right.
You want to be heavy on the food and light on the drinks on there.
Yeah.
I'm more
I figured
curious.
one beer, I'll be okay.
I'm more curious about the tattoo because it has a really great story behind it.
Oh, it is. Hawaiian Life of Susie. I was a cartoon character in the 1950s in a newspaper called the Honolulu Star Bulletin that my dad drew. And I was in every week. I was just kind of like the old Dennis the Menace, just one block. I wasn't, or like Family Circus type thing.
Right.
I wasn't, a strip. I was just a block every week. But yeah, for about 3 or 4 years, I have all of his old cartoons. And one day when I was ill, my daughters got together and went out and got the tattoos. I thought that was really sweet. And I decided, hey, I'm turning, some
51.
age tomorrow. So,
51.
well, I'm saying 51, but I'm letting people go either 20 years either way. But then I got to thinking if they go 20 years back, that would make me 31. And I wouldn't have been born to give birth to Stephanie, so that's not working out.
No.
But anyway, so
That's all right.
yeah,
I'm
I'm going to get
24,
this tattoo
so
in
I'm
honor of my
cool.
dad and, me. Just for fun.
Suggestion: quit while you're ahead on this deal.
Uh-huh.
What, on the age?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all right.
You're going. No, it was fun. No, that's an interesting fact. How long did your dad draw the cartoon strip?
Oh, about 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, it was a block, not a strip, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. About 3 years in Hawaii. Yeah, he always was very talented. Then he had another cartoon in a naval magazine. It was called Dash of Salt that he did for years.
Really?
And yeah, he was very talented. He couldn't hang a picture on a wall. I mean, honest to God, he couldn't. Anything that was structural, like if they ever had like a patio cover down or anything, he could not do any of that stuff. But, take a picture and do a beautiful chalk lining, how people used to do it in charcoal. He was very, very talented.
So,
so we all have our talents.
That's it. Yeah, so I imagine he was not mechanically inclined, but
Not
very
at all.
artistic.
Never worked on cars, no.
But very artistically inclined.
Yes, very artistically, yeah. In fact, he used to work for Disney, and people used to say that he looked like Walt a little, not a lot. He was kind of nicer looking. But Walt Disney was, my dad was the only guy back in the day, because they were real strict at Disneyland, that was allowed to have a mustache nobody else could, because it was like Walt's, which it's kind of a cute story. And then he went on to build like the Pirates of the Caribbean and Small World, After All, and Haunted Mansion. And then he did all the interiors designs, where the little dummies or whatever they are, characters were doing what they were supposed to do and not like, flipping people off when they went by on a boat or scratching their butts or picking
That's
their
why
nose.
they don't put people like me in charge of that,
Yeah,
because that's
exactly.
what
Yeah.
that would definitely be what would be happening
Yeah.
if I was in charge of something.
Yeah, I could kind of see it. But a little, not a lot, but yeah. So he was a talented man. So anyway, so I thought that this would be a fun thing to do on my 54th birthday.
I thought it was 51.
Yeah, I know.
You need to tell me the number, Mom.
7-1, Stephanie, 7-1.
No, I was going with 51. I thought we had that down pat.
Oh, okay, 51. Yeah, 51.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how old am I then? I don't know.
You're 3.
22 or
24.
2 and a half.
24.
you always learn to guess low
Yeah.
on the age.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I hope I don't pass out.
You'll be fine.
Oh, that's
I know.
I would though. I
Good
probably
luck,
would.
Mom.
The one thing, and everybody's got their Achilles heels, but I'm definitely afraid of needles.
Oh, are you? See, my dad also was in the military, obviously, because I said he drew that cartoon. And every time we got shipped overseas, you got a million shots
Yes.
back in the day.
Yes.
I mean, it was like ridiculous,
Right.
So shots and me are like, no big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it is, but no, I don't like the. I just there's something about it. I just don't know why. I just got like a phobia around that. I don't like. Again, like I said, I don't like anything foreign on my body or nothing like that. So that's probably when people are sticking things in me, it's like I just that just I tell them, don't sit there and explain it to me. Just tell me. I'm going to turn my head, look away, just stab me, get it done. And
I want to stab you.
So I would
You don't.
presume you've never had a colonoscopy, huh?
Mom!
Actually, no.
Things
They were
stuck in them.
actually after the hospital stay with the spider bite. They were saying, you need all of it. And I said, I ain't got any of that stuff. So they said, well, would you do the the little test thing where you do the? And I said, yeah, I'll do that. They said, so I went in there afterwards, and I'm talking, and they said, well, you haven't had a physical or something in 27 odd years or something, and yada yada yada. And I said, because I don't need one. And so they said they put me through. They said, well, you got to do. You're getting older. Da, da, da. I said, well, okay, I'm gonna do this to prove it to you. So we do all the stuff, get back, and it was about 3 minutes when I'm seeing the doctor, because the doctor says, he says, you're probably the healthiest person I've ever seen in my entire life. And I said, well, I told you guys that. I said, we were all wasting our time with this stuff. They said, see ya, get out of here, you're gone.
That's good. That's good, though. See, you never have to worry about it. If you have nothing, then they don't do it for like 10 years or whatever. So, yeah, shine it on. Yeah.
So
that's my motto.
I don't worry about that. So I think people give themselves their own diseases like that because they worry about all that stuff. And
I tend to think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. yeah. Kind of makes you, a little apprehensive that you might need, that if you have a headache, maybe it's a brain tumor. I mean, that's kind of far out I go sometimes, but, that's because I keep looking
you
on
had a brain
Dr.
tumor.
Google and checking out everything. So I need to knock it off,
Yeah.
If you got a headache, just put cayenne pepper in your coffee. That'll straighten that right
that
out.
would be good. Yeah, clear it all up.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had that done, Roy, though. Now I don't have to worry.
Yeah.
That's good.
No,
And
I
your
did.
mom.
I did it, because they were sitting there pestering me about this and that and the other.
I
and
know.
I said, okay. I said, let's go through this little dog and pony show. But I said, we are totally wasting everybody's time and money and effort because I said there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with me.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad.
I said I'm healthier than a racehorse,
yeah.
and I proved it to them, and they haven't bothered me since.
Good. That's good.
Mom, Lori's watching. Could you tell her how I'm the favorite child?
Wow.
Hi, Lori.
She admitted to it.
Oh,
Anyways,
man.
we just
I'm going
wanted
to pick her up at 6 o'clock, so I don't, that's going to be an awkward drive, Stephanie.
Hey,
Yeah.
tell her to get you on the radio and give you a boat
So
parade
you
for your
guys,
birthday.
so you guys are getting, right after the show. So you,
Oh, I got to see her later too. Wow.
so you, the whole crew, is going out to with Mom to get your. You said this is your first and only tattoo.
Oh, correct.
No,
Yeah.
well, now never say never.
Well, I never thought I'd get a tattoo, and that's what I was thinking today. I thought, you say, I'm never ever going to do that, and then here you are, 20 years, 18, whatever, 10 years later, going,
I know,
I think I'll get a tattoo.
You know how much crap
you
she would
really,
give us when we got
you never
tattoos?
really know what the hell you're going to do in life.
Well,
So
no,
just do it,
I've
you
even
know?
said that, even though I'm deathly
I know.
afraid of needles. I said I'd never say never I could do it, but I just don't envision.
Well,
It
I
might.
think it's kind of tacky when I go to, like, Walmart or Stater Brothers, and I see somebody like 80 that's got the tattoo sleeves, and I'm thinking, really, lady? Really?
No,
You
yeah,
think this looks good?
that's one
You
thing.
know.
Boy, the ones that are tattooed from arms, that totally freaks
Yeah.
me out.
Yeah, but this is going to be hidden, under a
Are we going to
sleeve.
say where?
No, yeah, under my sleeve on my arm. So, yeah. So the only people will see it is doctors
Well,
or whatever when they give me a
since we
shot,
were upping the language on the show here, I thought, well, maybe we'd start really getting
know.
if we started that, maybe we'd really attract a heck of an audience. in there
Yeah, a
on
different type
Yes,
of audience,
yeah.
of course.
Okay,
Well, we're
anyway, but
broadening-
this is my mother.
broadening the scope of the
Come on.
audience out here on the program.
No, I'm a conservative Republican
Wow.
who gets tattooed once on her arm that nobody sees,
And you know what? You know how much crap you gave us when we got tattoos, Mother?
I gave you a lot of crap, I
You
know.
did. So I'm going to be doing that to you tomorrow. I'm going to
Crap
pretend like
away,
I did.
I
What
don't
did
care.
you do?
I don't care. Don't bother me any.
Yes.
All right.
And as you wrote in yesterday, as you said that, tell us how you feel about our esteemed President Donald John Trump.
No, we're
love-
not doing that. I got to leave in 4 minutes.
She
We're not
doesn't
going there.
she doesn't like political talk, but I love President Trump. The only thing I have a little bit of issue with him is I wish he'd knock it off with the Twitter crap. But as one person pointed out to me one time when I was bitching about that while he's doing the Twitter crap and everybody's freaking out because he's picking on, I don't know, Prince Harry or whoever, he's busy, while they're all freaking out, doing other crap that people aren't even aware of because they're so wrapped up in his little Twitter stuff that it's like a distraction, which that could be. That makes sense. He's a pretty smart guy.
Quit giving away my secrets.
What secrets?
That's what you do. You hit on it. That's the diversion tactic.
Yeah. I
You have
think it's
them
a
look
diversion.
over here and get all of that while you go in and do all this.
Yeah, and he's meanwhile, working with China and working,
Yes.
with the UK and doing
Pulling
this
us
and doing
out of
that, and everybody's freaking
Afghanistan
out
where we
because
shouldn't have
he's
been
kicked out.
in the first place and all that stuff, actually
Yeah.
doing all the stuff that we should. Yes,
Yeah.
he's a brilliant strategist.
I think he is. I think that a lot of people don't realize that he's playing these games to his advantage, why everybody, Democrats mainly, are freaking out over stupid little things. And then, some of them are kind of stupid. It's like, really? Why did you say that? But I can see it now. It makes sense.
It is on
Yeah.
that. You guys got an engagement to go to for a little tattoo party
I
going
know.
on that.
Yay.
So congratulations. Have fun with it.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
I think it's really great that you're getting it, especially from your dad's cartoon. I think that's absolutely
it's
awesome.
special. I wouldn't probably ever have thought of doing that if it wasn't my dad's tattoo, or my dad's cartoon, And
Right.
it has a special place in my heart. So, and so does he. So, yeah, I'm kind of
excited. To
I'm
watch
excited.
You squirm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I really appreciate you guys calling.
Of course. And you're welcome for your boat parade, Mother.
I will, unless I pass out and from this tattoo thing. But yeah,
You'll be fine.
I plan. And they went through all that trouble. I got to show up,
You
at
better.
Lake Paris. Yeah.
I'll be very upset. We have the
I know. They don't,
about it.
get all those boats. out
Yeah,
there
we
for
went
me
through
for
all
nothing.
this trouble to get the Ranger on, bring
Yeah.
it all, arrange all
Yeah.
the boat parade and
Yeah.
everything on
You
your
know how much
birthday.
work I put into this?
And then,
I know,
and then
I don't show up. Yeah, no, I
then you
would
no
be
show
there.
on that.
Yeah.
That would be the ultimate stiff arm if you
Oh
actually
yeah,
did
insult, big time.
that. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Of
yeah.
that.
No, I'll be there.
You
I'll
got
be
it.
there.
No problem.
All right.
All right.
Well, I'll see you soon, and happy birthday. And
Thanks.
I got nothing else.
You got nothing else?
You got
Okay.
nothing else?
All right. Well, you guys take care. Enjoy your show.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Sometimes I forget, unfortunately, but that's because I'm 51. But anyway.
Oh, about my show? It's okay.
All right.
It's an extra Christmas present.
Talk to you later.
You got it. Happy birthday.
Bye.
Thank you, Roy.
You got
Bye.
it. That was fun.
I mean, how many children get their parents a boat parade for the birthday? Just saying. I want to brag about this forever. It's awesome.
Get your mother, please.
I don't know what that's saying, but yes.
Get your mother, please.
Kiss your mother? Oh.
I'll be back. Only in a
What are you doing?
I'm adding sound effects.
Oh. It's freaking me out, man.
Oh, why would I freak out?
You always do.
No,
Hello.
you're kidding.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
Terminator. No. I don't know. What is it? What does it start with? Who? I don't think I've ever seen it.
Kindergarten Cop.
I know. I'm horrible at seeing movies, though.
Oh well,
Not as bad as you. You're
no,
like,
you.
do they even
no,
exist in your world?
not very much, but the
Hey, while I walk out, so nobody has to see me walk by the cameras, you should put up the location for Mountain Mike's that we're going to be doing on Monday Night Football. If you go in, what?
Yes, go ahead.
If you go in and mention iNewswire, you get 20% off.
Wow.
Yep, and you can tell them that we sent you because we're awesome.
Well, that goes without saying.
Duh.
Have fun with your mom's birthday party.
Thanks.
And all that and all the festivities
I think
and
I
all
still
that
have my
stuff.
mic on.
Yes, and get ready for the big day tomorrow.
What's tomorrow? Oh, the boat parade of my mom's
Oh,
birthday.
jeez.
You know, I gotta work tomorrow morning too. So I got a lot going on. I'm excited though. Are you going to the boat parade tomorrow?
Yes.
What time are you getting there at? We were thinking of getting there around 2.
Wow. You really are picnicking on the deal, huh?
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's gonna be packed.
It will be. It's usually a pretty big show out there.
I know.
So we'll see.
I think they have like crafts and art and
Yeah,
all that
it's
kind of stuff going on out
It
there.
is. Yeah. There's a big show going on as we were described all during the day. Are you going to take the mic with you?
No, I was just you were still talking to me, so I'm
I
standing here
was-
with the mic on. Bye guys, happy Friday. Sorry for leaving you with this guy.
Oh. Yes, that's the screams of the. What do you mean? No. Oh, it's always a fun issue of what's going on that. Of that. I gotta. We'll vamp across that of the nice little events that are going on out there until somebody goes out the door. So we can actually have some really fun rock and roll and fun on. Now we can. Now we're free to play on that. No, that was fun on that. But I know we're talking about. Actually, now we are going to talk about because they did throw articles of impeachment up, and I did want to cover that a little bit of that. They went through, and last night what was it? Almost 12 o'clock, midnight this morning. they ran the hearings of the impeachment coming up, and all of a sudden, Jerry Nadler, the head of the Judiciary Committee, says, "Oh, we're going to adjourn this hearing and come back on Friday morning." Which you might not think is such a big deal, but most of the congressmen, they leave, go back home on Friday, especially during the holidays. I mean, on Thursday, that's their travel day to get back home, whatever. So he really jerked around all the other members of the committee just to hold a vote. So this morning they hold a vote on purely partisan issues. 23 Democrats on the committee, 17 Republicans, and it was yes to impeach the president on 2 counts of whatever, obstruction of justice and abuse of power and all that. Again, I think this is really going to backfire on all the on the Democrats coming up. I think it's really going to work in favor of Trump in 2020, and it will really be in favor of work in favor of the Republicans taking over the House in 2022, because it just, especially in the swing states like Wisconsin, Michigan, the ones the what was it, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Minnesota, and what's the other one? Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and what's the other? There was 4 of them. That was Hillary's wall. Wall that she was dead set. We're going to win those, and Trump won 3 of the 4. The only one he didn't win was Minnesota on that one, and he only lost it by like 30 or 40,000 votes. But he won the other 3, and that's basically how he won the presidency. And those states are overwhelmingly against impeachment. What's going to be really, and they probably will vote to impeach. There is, there's a better chance of you hitting the lottery and getting struck by lightning twice and surviving in one day than the Senate convicting Donald Trump or throwing Donald Trump out of office over this. Mainly because, as the inspectors in general report said, you guys, the FBI, were the ones that were abusing your power. So telling lies and just running surveillance on people just because you don't like Donald Trump. You were trying to stop his election, Comey and the crew over there. And then once he got into office, you were trying to undermine it. Nadler, who's in the crew, and Adam Schiff from out here, we've just been going on and on and on about that stuff. So it was a pretty good show for that. But that was disgusting what he pulled. I mean, you knew what the vote was. They wanted to do it this morning just to have it so it's in the TV or in the prime or where more people are going to see it, just to take the vote. You had to delay that 8 hours and make everybody stay and come up with that after you knew it was a foregone conclusion. It was like no secret how everybody was going to vote on this whole thing. And they did that. But like I said, I've encouraged the Democrats, Nadler, Schiff, for doing this because I think it works in the favor of Trump. I think it works in the favor of freedom and liberty. I think it works in favor of swinging the pendulum back to some more sane policies that we've had on the whole agenda. And we'll see. But, we got, I think, 326 days left till the November election coming up in 2020, obviously, like we call it, silly season in politics, because that's when it really is. That's really the presidential elections, which are coming up, are the biggest ones, because you'll have your biggest overall turnout in all your elections on the November presidential election. I think even in California, you average about 65-70% turnout on a presidential election, and especially this one. This one's probably going to be hot. I really hope they do nominate somebody like I would hope and pray for a rematch from Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. Pocahontas would be great too, because she would come unhinged in my view too. And I mean, as Susie was saying about that, I mean, Trump would be on the Twitter wars on that, just like he won the campaign. All those jabs and and stuff that Trump does that a lot of people like Susan said, I could do without that, but I understand why he does that. And it's a brilliant strategy. He has everybody scrambling, worrying about what he's tweeting and all this stuff and da 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 da, and everybody else, while he is actually working on stuff, renegotiating NAFTA and GATT, which Nancy Pelosi signed on, with. Tell me why you should be impeaching a president who's getting us out of bad trade deals or cutting our taxes, lowest unemployment, especially in the minority communities, or how it's determined on that ever, and almost, I think, in the last 50 years overall, that capital coming back in because we've lowered the onerous tax rates on corporate taxes, and on and on and on, getting us out. Finally, starting the process of getting us out of Afghanistan. And maybe next week we'll start covering that, because none other than the Washington Post, not part of the vast right-wing conspiracy or anything else, did a series last week. And I was I covered it a little bit, and I was going to talk about it, but I wanted to see how the whole thing played, and I wanted to see how the whole issue played out. And probably much to my dismay that it didn't get very much coverage across the board. We spent over $1 trillion in Afghanistan, and it was basically all for naught. All the lives lost, all the servicemen that come back with blowed up legs, some of them missing 2 legs and an arm over that, going through the minefields and everything in Afghanistan. All the ones that had died, injured, all for naught. And I was concerned when Trump hired Mattis for, I think it was Secretary of Defense or whatever position he had, maybe Joint Chiefs of Staff, I don't remember which one. But he was one of the ones saying in 2010, I believe, because he was on the, general on the command, in higher up, but, maybe a step down position, saying, yeah, we're getting ready to wrap this up. We got this stuff under control, da-da-da-da-da. Scant 9 years later, he's in the Trump administration, and I bet you I ain't saying that this happened, or I didn't know for sure, but I bet you this is kind of how the conversation went between the president and Mattis. Trump said, well, how come we are not turning Afghanistan back and putting in a lawful government like you said was happening 9 years ago? You're saying we got to increase forces and doing everything else. And I bet you he didn't have a good answer for that. That's probably why he went down the road. And he, again, on a lot of this stuff, it does, I was kind of, I was a little bit concerned. Wasn't really, I put it out there, but I wasn't putting Trump on blast, because he did campaign of getting us out of these foreign conflicts that we shouldn't be in. And it took him a while to get into the stuff, but I was willing to give him enough latitude, because I figured, it is always different when you get into those situations and you're put into a situation like that of President of the United States, and you get to see he's looking at things that we'll never see, or he's getting a lot of information, or looking at things that we will never be privy to. And ultimately he's got to make that decision, but he's making it, like I said, and I hope he is, and I think he probably is by some of the actions he's doing. I've always said, no matter what political body it is, could be your city council, school board, state legislatures, Congress, president, if they're making their decisions on complete and accurate information, I can live with it. Other than they might be doing something that's just totally, off the wall. But if they're honestly looking at the whole situation, where we get off a track and all this stuff is when our elected officials do not get the complete and accurate information, like Afghanistan, whatever they were saying. And I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say it 100%, but I'm going to say, and there's a whole list, a laundry list. You can look it up in the Washington Post articles, and we'll probably get into it more in depth, later on, maybe next week. Or in the future. There's a whole laundry list saying, yeah, we just give us some more stuff. We'll have this Afghanistan thing cleaned up. 20 years later, we're still in the darn thing, and you want more money, more troops, more lives, more American lives lost, more American servicemen to come back severely injured from this ordeal, and you're doing that. That's what's unconscionable about this to me. If you're going to fight a war, it should be a direct threat against the United States. If you're going in with troops or you're going in with a military occupation or anything, there should be only one reason. The mission should be clearly defined, and you should go in there and do whatever it takes to win it. And that's it. And then once you do that, you get the heck of it out. And we consistently have not done that. Over $1 trillion basically down the rat hole of Afghanistan. Just think of $1 trillion if it was invested in the United States. What we could do with freeways and water projects and investing or making it easier for that capital would be in the United States, turning over on the multiplier effect, 2.5 times. That means $2.5 trillion worth of economic activity did not go to the United States and went to a foreign country where they basically just blew it. I mean, we built freeways for them, gave them the equipment to maintain it after we built it. And there was like 100-mile stretch of freeway that we built 10 years ago. Gave it to the Afghanistans, gave them all the equipment to maintain it. 10 years later, it looks as bad or worse it did before than they started. It's full of potholes, not maintained, totally tore up. You can't even hardly drive on the darn thing. And how many billions of dollars? How would you like to have 100 miles of new freeway in California over the past 10 or so years? It's a great question to ask, and I wish more people would ask it, because that's what we should be talking about. That's what should be the not only if the Judiciary Committee should be hearing about why our FBI was falsifying records, going after private citizens, violating their civil rights. We want to talk about civil rights. Where are all the people screaming about Donald Trump, Christopher Page, and all those whose civil rights are being violated, who were violated in my view, and the evidence is very strong on that based on the Inspector General's report on that. Where are all these that scream about civil rights and systemic racism and blah, 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 blah? Where are they up there screaming about this? Where are they demanding that Jerry Nadler hold hearings on this? Just like, we're going to go ahead and run impeachment anyway on a report we know is fundamentally flawed, and a report of abuse of power supposedly by the president or misusing his office that was built on an FBI report that they ignored all the rules and just decided we're going to do whatever we want because we don't like Donald Trump. Again, I said the danger of that is, okay, so you're not really cared about the come off of Donald Trump, but I bet you'd be darn concerned if the full weight and power of the federal government or state government or city government was coming after you. So you might not think it's important just because it's not affecting you, but that doesn't mean one day it won't. And that's the difference between being freedom and a slave. It's not about screaming about whatever little thing is going on or whatever false narrative that they're trying to put out about all this other stuff. This is what the real danger is. The real danger is we have a potentially rogue government going on in between our in the United States of America, in our law enforcement, investigative, police powers, agencies. And that cannot stand. If you want to be a free people. If you want to be a slave, then there's not much I or anybody else can do about that. But if you again, I don't see that, it's kind of disappointing to me that I don't see the real outrage that should be done or should be done. Let's even forget about the $1 trillion. The amount of lives that have been lost and permanently damaged over this. To hear some of the stories, and maybe we'll have some of the guys. Maybe we'll work on getting some of the guys on to hear their stories where they've had, like I said, arms and legs. I was listening to one story of a serviceman who was in there cleaning the mines, and he said, the guy doing the interview says, well, why did you, he says, and then the guy said, 90% of the people that volunteer for this come back, 90% wind up at a minimum losing limbs somewhere. And he was one of the unfortunate ones that did. And then the guy doing the interview asked him, why did you volunteer for such a job like that? And he said, I thought I was the best equipped to do and handle that job. That's why I did it. Now that's somebody, who's got, not only got brass ones beyond compare, but somebody that, the amount of character it takes to do that and volunteer to do a dangerous job like that, knowing that the overwhelmingly odds are you're going to come back and you're going to be missing arms and legs at a minimum, if not be killed in that endeavor, is astounding. So again, I find it very compelling that that there's not much more concern or outrage on things like that have been happening, and like I said, you can trace this back to George H.W. Bush in the 80s, to Bill Clinton, through George W. Bush, through Barack Obama, and you can trace it through Democrat and Republican houses and senates that have went along with this policy, and the military leaders, generals, secretaries of defense, foreign, heads of the cabinet in the foreign policy area and everything that have advocated for this, and they've been on both sides of this. And I don't know what kind of how else to explain it, but it takes a special kind of evil and unconcern for your fellow human being to put them in harm's way unnecessarily, or for a cause, or for the almighty dollar, or for whatever reason it was they did it. But it was obviously, at this point, the story we were told for the last 20 years in Afghanistan and many of these other conflicts was a bold-faced lie. They were just misdeceiving us, the American people, on that to get us to support their war machine, which is incredulous. Again, like I say, it just probably rambled on too much on this subject today on a Friday the 13th, but I think it's important, and I kind of see where a lot of people are more just are not concerned or don't think about those things, and again, you will think about it when it affects you. It could be your son or daughter who registers in the military and comes back, in much less than where you sent them, or coming back in that box covered with the American flag coming in. And if they did that, I'm sure that there could probably be no greater heartache, but to have that as as a parent or relative, as somebody that had that experience. But if they did, you would want to make darn sure that they didn't die in vain, or died for keeping the freedoms that we have now, not for some other economic or power or growth reasons. That you explain it to me, and anybody else that's got a different take on that's welcome to chime in on the future on how we got to this point, because like I say, Afghanistan's just the latest chink in the armor on this thing. And like I say, that was written in the Washington Post, and it cuts across party lines, all across all sorts of socioeconomic factors. That's why I say when I do all this stuff and I talk about it, and I said, because I have a lot of discussions with people who have, varying political beliefs and on all sides and up and down and sideways on this. And again, like I say, there's blame to go across all across the board. It's not, you can't just say it's the left or the right or Republican, Democrat. The establishment has all been involved on this stuff, and some of the things that we do in our government to protect, that are astounding. I mean, it's just like like the drug cartels in Mexico, the poppy fields in Afghanistan, and everything else. Sometimes it's an old saying, but follow the money, like they said. And you want to take a movie? Jesse, you ever seen the movie All the President's Men? See, this is why, and Jesse said no, he didn't. And this is why that concerns me about that, because if you've seen, that's about the Watergate hearings, and that's where, and actually Ben Bradley, who was the publisher of the Washington Post that broke all the stuff on the back in the Nixon tapes and all that, and when he resigned, that's what he told Woodward and Bernstein, the reporters that were really working on that story. That was one of his instructions when things were getting hot about that whole deal, and Deep Throat come in and said, follow the money. And it is. And a lot of this stuff boils down to the green dollar bills. And like I said, that's a great thing about Donald Trump as president. What are you going to give him that he doesn't already have? I mean, what are you going to do? Bribe him with more money? I mean, so you take kind of that factor off, but that is. And, I really hope in a lot of ways I am wrong about it, but I don't think I am, and I think the evidence comes in more clear every day it is. But I think we fought a lot of this stuff, and we've defended things. A lot of money and a lot of lives have been, severely damaged and lost over that, over making somebody else either more powerful or richer or whatever. And again, that's something that I just, I don't know what it takes in your heart or your psyche to get to that point, but I hope I never get to that point where I could actually sacrifice somebody else for my own gain. So that's about it. We're going to take it off because I love Friday the 13th on the day of that. The guy that is not freaked out about the superstitions and that and all that stuff. Jesse, are you freaked out about? Are you? Jesse said, "No, I ain't on that." Yeah, he said, this is actually my day. Yeah, actually, it should be celebrated. Yeah, some people will call you, if you celebrate this, you're a devil worshiper. Oh, you're in, people get hung up on that stuff. But, hey, it's all good. Like I said, I wouldn't want 7 billion people walking this earth like me. It takes all kinds, and I appreciate everybody's opinion on that. And I don't see it as bad, evil, or either way. If you believe in that stuff, if you don't, in that, it doesn't bother me one bit. Have a great day. We'll be back on Monday on Money Monday with Stephanie on that. We'll give you a report on the boat parade and all that, and maybe we'll have a picture of Susie's birthday tattoo from her dad's cartoon strip that was written back in Hawaii, I think in the 50s. Cartoon, what did she call it? Not a strip, book. Block. What's the difference between a cartoon and a block and a strip? Oh, block is just one page where a strip is multiple pages. Got it. I didn't know that. I was trying to figure. I should have asked her, but I asked you and you knew it. So there you go. Learn something every day. You learn something new every day. That's it. So we're going to sign out for today. Be back on Monday on all that. See you then.